Bonnie's Insider is brought to you by Universal Primary Care, providing care to the entire family.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Bonnie's Insider, brought to you by Universal Primary Care. I'm your host, Tommy Valentine. And what a special show we have in store for you this week. Only 2 segments on the docket, but each highlights an aspect of what sets apart St. Bonaventure from any other program in the country, our involvement in the community and our remarkable alumni. Featured in our alumni spotlight is former Bonnie's men's basketball player Tyler Ralph, who has made quite the name for himself in the basketball world during his postgraduate years. We'll be hearing from him later on in the show. No better way to lead off the show, though, than by taking a look at the athletic department's involvement with Friends of Jaclyn. Part of what makes St. Bonaventure unique are the lessons taught to its students that go beyond the classroom or the athletic fields. The Franciscan values our university are built on shape the lives of Bonnies in many ways, including influencing them to make a difference in their community. Nowhere else does that shine through more clearly than in the athletic department's affiliation with Friends of Jaclyn, an organization pairing athletic teams with children battling pediatric brain tumors and other childhood cancers. Bona's connection with Friends of Jaclyn spans more than a decade, beginning with local native Zack Murphy, who was paired with our men's swimming and diving team as a child and is now an SBU student and manager for the team. It continues more recently with our women's soccer team taking on a new team member from Kane, Pennsylvania, Rory, a 6th grader who has been warming the hearts of every Bonnie she has encountered.
I was in preschool and the teacher noticed I was acting funny, like my face was drooping. And my mom took me to a bunch of specialists and a bunch of doctors, and they are telling her it's nothing. And then finally we go, one doctor in Buffalo was like, they noticed something wrong, and then the scans and everything, the MRIs, and then, oh, you find out that, your son has a brain tumor.
Rory has a particular type of brain tumor. It's called an astrocytoma. It's located in her midbrain on her pineal gland. We're really lucky she's stable right now and completely off treatment. She deals with a lot of emotional side effects. When you live in Kane and you have a brain tumor, everybody knows who you are, and everyone kind of treats her. They're sweet and respectful and wonderful, but with kid gloves, they're like, oh, should you do that? Should you do that? So being able to be part of something bigger than her is really refreshing.
Our mission is to improve the quality of life. What can we do for these kids today? Not tomorrow or a year or 5 or 10 years from now. What can we do for them today? So by pairing them up with a team, they get love, support, and friendship. And that's what they lose when they get dealt these cards and they start their journey. Most kids go on with their normal life while these children start a new journey. And it's not for one game or one season, it's for as long as they're alive. To come on to a game or a practice and be treated like they're normal gives them a different sense of being where they were before they were diagnosed. And I think that's the magic of Friends of Jaclyn.
We received a simple email from the FOJ Foundation about an individual that was in our area and whether we'd be interested in becoming affiliated with it. And we expressed interest and they paired us up. I ended up having a connection to his mother and her being an Olean native and having some familiar ties there. And it was an easy marriage as far as that went on. And he became a part of the program where he'd come down and visit with us periodically, basically on weekends, and has relationships with some of those guys up to today.
I remember back in my first year just going to meets and hanging out with the guys. They talked to me in between races. It made me feel a little better. They gave me some impressions, some habits. Nothing too major, but it made me feel pretty cool.
Rory sees the girls on the team as her sisters. They really make her feel like she's part of the team. She has her own locker, she has her own number, she thinks she's hot stuff. Just feels so noticed in a positive light as opposed to being the brain tumor kid. There is not one event that goes unnoticed by these girls. First day of school, they were all liking and commenting on her pictures on Facebook. They were, for her birthday, they would record videos and send them to her. Anytime she goes up for practice or a team meeting, she was on their Zoom meetings over the summer, they fuss over her big time. They want to know everything she's doing. How's school going? How's this? How's that? How's dance? They are absolutely the big sisters Rory does not have. It's wonderful.
It was a second family, and they really, helped out, and they're my brothers, so someone I can talk to with a different perspective on everything.
You knew you were helping somebody out, and it meant a lot to the guys on the team. Chris Ekimoff, Scott Jordan, all those guys, they loved it. And something they carry on, still talk to them, stay in communication, which is what you hope for.
When I made a Facebook, like all these guys followed me. They'd send me messages, and people come back, you know, they know me, they recognize me, even if I don't recognize them, which is, you know, the fact that they remember a kid that showed up to a couple meets a year. You know, they remember me from that little bit of time they spent with me means, you know, a lot to me.
He kind of went away as a normal adolescent would for a while when he got into that 12, 13, 14, young teenager age bracket. Then he became involved with us again, probably his junior and senior year a little bit more. And then, lo and behold, he became a student at St. Bonaventure.
Starting the first week of being a freshman, I went up to Sean and I was like, I'm pretty bored, like, can you get me involved or something?
I didn't truly believe that he had the stomach for it initially. He showed up in my doorway first week of classes. He tested it out, and he continued to thrive, and he became a crucial point of our team for the segment that I had him, and now he's continued on through the years that I've surrendered. Watch his development from a kid who was physically really inhibited. The right side of his body is immensely affected by a surgery. To the point where he's at now, and you see those seminal moments. You see him at prom and high school graduation, and now he's in school, now he's in university, and he got his driving privileges with an adaptive car. I've seen those points, and he doesn't realize that all these people have seen it. But I typically refer to kids coming into the program, especially boys, as bulletproof. They think they're bulletproof. They're all healthy, they know everything, they've got the answers to everything, they got it all figured out, even though they obviously don't. And to show that vulnerability and see somebody that has it tougher than what they have, it actually kind of gets their attention. And obviously gives them a good learning experience to go from. They haven't seen anything like that before and realize that you're just not given good health and an athletic body and able to do everything that you want to at a whim, that there are other challenges that need to be had.
Zach was one of the first adoptees originally, going back years ago. To see him become the young man he is today, that is the fruits of what we're doing here, and that's what keeps me going, inspired to see a success story. They're far and few in our world. How he handles himself is amazing, because nobody knows what he's going through. If you don't know Zach, he's touched hundreds of people. And what St. Bonaventure, the soccer and the swimming team don't know, what they don't know is how many other families that they've touched. And that's something that they didn't realize was going to be a byproduct of their participating in the Friends of Jaclyn program.
I didn't expect the friendship, the partnership to be so strong after all this time. Like, it's been a year and a half now, and they're still weekly. We're getting at least some form of contact. I mean, I knew it was going to be fun. I figured we'd have that first season, and then if it kept going, great. If not, no harm done. But Coach Steve and the girls on the team have really made it a legacy program, I would say. The seniors that graduated last year would all reached out to say goodbye to Rory before, they left. And I think it's going to be something Rory will carry with her, certainly through the end of high school, and I'm sure further into her adulthood.
You've never met somebody that's so full of positivity, laughter, smiles. We've had some really good opportunities, whether it's been dancing on the Riley Center floor.
Hey guys, meet our new teammate, Rory.
Her coming to games, watching her run on the field last year when we beat UB. It's just an incredible moment of that spirit of what it means to be a Bonnie. We want to get her back out here as soon as we can to reconnect with their team. She's always bringing a ray of sunshine to our group.
When we started this, Jaclyn with the Northwestern girls, I, as a parent, if somebody did this for me, I would move mountains for them. Because this is really, really powerful. It took me 2 years of the players telling me they were getting more out of this than I was. And I would say, there's no possible way, because I get to go to a game or a practice and forget about the beast. I can't get that in the hospital. And then when I go back and I put the key in the ignition, I'm right back to reality. So their perspective was changing. And that's when I realized it was a two-way street.
I want to say thank you to Coach Steve and the other coaches and the staff and the team. I don't know if they realize how important they are to Rory. I hope they do. I hope they feel the love that they give us right back at them. But that is a huge part of what helps Rory keep pushing through every day. Bad days, she has been known to go upstairs and put on one of her jerseys just to feel, it makes her feel seen and important. And that is absolutely invaluable for kids in general, but especially for kids with brain tumors, being able to feel a part of something that has no medical, there's no scans, there's no IV pokes, there's none of that. This is just Rory getting to hang out with great people and have a great time. And it's making a difference in her life, big time.
Those kind of experiences are life-changing and rare. And so I would say if you have an opportunity to get involved in something like that the payback's obviously immense, not for just one person, but for way more. An entire team, an entire program, an entire generation.
Those looking to get involved with the Friends of Jaclyn program can participate in several ways, including adopting a child or their healthy sibling, or by becoming a guardian angel for a family or child in need. To learn more, visit friendsofjaclyn.org. We're going to step aside here on Bonnie's Insider, but don't go anywhere. After the break, an interview with one of the men's basketball program's most accomplished alums. Stick around. You're watching Bonnie's Insider, brought to you by UPC.
You'll light candles with strangers the day you arrive, and extinguish them with lifelong friends the day you leave this place. A place that will transform your life, inside and outside the classroom. A place where you'll learn to care about each other and about others you never imagined caring about. A place where people help you believe in yourself. For 160 years, St. Bonaventure University has helped good students become great people.
Schultz is always at your service, ensuring your vehicle gets the maintenance it requires. Now, with modern, touchless options across the entire auto care experience. Speak with a service advisor on the phone or at one of our newly envisioned service centers. Pay invoices online or via mobile app. And drive home in confidence, knowing Schultz only permits limited personnel access to your vehicle. Exceeding expectations is our mission. That's why the next generation of auto care is already here at Schultz.
Away from campus? No problem. You can follow Go Bonnies wherever you are on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Keep up with all your favorite squads. And don't forget to use the hashtag Unfurl.
Welcome back to Bonnie's Insider, brought to you by UPC. Bonnie's men's basketball fans know the names of the greats who have come through this university over the years. Bob Lanier, Andrew Nicholson, Jalen Adams. But there's another name they need to start familiarizing themselves with, and that's Tyler Ralph. From being named Mr. New York Basketball his senior year in high school to becoming an elite basketball trainer with some of the NBA's biggest stars, Ralph has been through it all, and he takes us through his journey on this week's Alumni Spotlight.
I just kind of fell in love with working guys out. And the first guy I worked out, was Ogo at Aboyo. He just kept telling me how much better and better he thought he was getting at the time. And I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I was just doing what I did. And I got a lot of joy out of seeing him get better and his confidence build. When the opportunity came that I could get into the profession that I am, because it wasn't really prevalent back then. I still like going out there and playing. I still like doing those things. I still like being in shape. I like telling kids what it is, and, training is kind of allowed me to do that. I teach them things that, they haven't done before or they haven't seen. I'll break it down probably differently than they've seen before. And guys like that, guys like knowing that they're getting better and knowing that if they can't do something, somebody can teach it to them, and I've studied, for the last 10 years on being able to do that. And, I think guys knowing that I actually care about their games and wanting them to get better. Usually, brings them back. You got to be a good person, man. That's the biggest thing. Guys are going to want to go in the gym and enjoy their workouts. Whether it's hard or not, they're going to want to be in the gym with people they enjoy. You can be the best skills trainer in the world, the best coach in the world. If that player doesn't want to be good, they're not going to be good. So a lot of it is the player. You're just proud to be part of their process and excited for the goals that they meet and, their progression as a basketball player and obviously as a human off the court. Traveling to different countries and being able to do what I do is, I don't take it lightly, and I know a lot of people would probably want to be in my position. So I just, I try to do the best I can and do it humbly.
Drag, go rock!
I tell everybody, man, I know, a lot of college coaches. I've been in a lot of college coaches' practices. I truly think he's the best college coach in America. The way he prepares, the way he watches film, how he sets up, the guys to win. I think offensively he is one of the best minds, the game has seen. I just think he is one of the most underrated coaches by far in the country. I tell everybody all the time how blessed we are at St. Bonaventure to have him, leading our program. I think there's a special culture that Schmitty's created at Bonnie's that we just didn't have before. And he's the most prepared coach to me in the conference. We don't always have the most talent, but for some reason, we're always top 4. The consistency that we've had as a program, I think has surprised me. Each year, it's almost like we're 3-4 wins away from really, being on the bubble of making the NCAA tournament. Obviously coaching staffs help, and obviously he helped me my senior year, and I kind of blossomed under him, and it was just kind of too late. And then I went back and, I coached on, that staff with Demetrius and with Andrew and Ogo and, Charlon Kloof and those guys. Then I was part of, a winning Bonnie's. Then you kind of saw the town and you saw everything that we didn't get my year. Or my years. I think it shaped me as far as being a part of something special, understanding what it is to be an alumni of the university, and then carry on the tradition of Bonnie's and trying to make, people proud of what you did, not only during your time playing there, but, after. And, obviously I'm still in the basketball world. So I kind of have, my tentacles on the kids, and I obviously can still talk to the kids and communicate with a lot of them, which I do. It's just been a joy to me to be able to still in a way be a part of that program. I really just enjoy watching those guys play. I don't know if I have a favorite player. It's funny, those guys, I watch them and they just love playing. It's from the guy who doesn't play at all to the all. It's a weird thing they got going. Not a weird thing, it's a great thing, but I enjoy watching how much they root for each other. Our last year with Schmidt, we were kind of like the building block to get things back right for, Bonnie's. And, I ended up loving my time there. Proud is probably the word. I'm a proud alumni. I'm proud of what the program is. I'm proud of the kids that come through the program and the kids we graduate. I think we've become one of the better mid-major programs across the country, and that's a credit to Coach Schmidt and his staff, and a credit to the university and the president for understanding what St. Bonaventure basketball means to the school, the town, but also, the alumni.
And we'll be watching closely as that client list grows more and more star-studded each year. And who knows, maybe a few of our current players will be headed Tyler's way in the near future. That wraps up Bonnie's Insider for the week, but we'll be returning next Monday with a packed show. Here's what you have to look forward to. From one star Bonnie on the court to another, next week's Alumni Spotlight features an interview with men's basketball alumnus Chris Matthews, better known on social media as Lethal Shooter, one of the most in-demand NBA shooting coaches in the world. Head women's basketball coach Jessie Fleming is in as well for Coach's Corner, and we'll meet with softball player Madison Stewart as we highlight her involvement as a volunteer firefighter. As always, thanks to everyone who tuned in. I hope to see you right back here next week when Bonnie's Insider returns. I'm Tommy Valentine. So long, and thanks for watching.
Bonnie's Insider has been brought to you by Universal Primary Care, providing care to the entire family.